the stream was going, it actually just died on me. So we on the first outlap for qualifying, Pool 1, GTSA, Nations Season 2, Round 6, the final round. Next week's our showdown. If you're in the chat, say hi. I'm just checking to make sure. Broadcasters broadcasting, which is good. Yeah, Gran goes to start his first flying lap. You guys will notice that the settings are slightly different to the rest of the pools. We did make a couple of adjustments, very similar, but maybe a little bit more rain here, a little bit less over there. That's just because we didn't want the pool 1 guys having an hour extra practice. Pumpkin Patch, good evening. Good evening. Let's see. Not sure what happened with the stream. It dropped on me, so I'm just resharing everything quickly. Kaylin, Pumpkin, if you want to join me in the chat, so the 5 people watching don't have to listen to me by myself, that would be great. But if not, feel free to moderate the comments there. First lap's underway. I'm not sure what happened to Brenovan. Sam's currently the first car out on track, followed by Richard, Lequera, Trinelli, S&P, Rusty, the Raventy, and Steele. You know, it makes your throat sore. Generally germs and a flu, but you can get cough mixture for that. Hope you weren't thinking anything else. Stings, how's it going? What a nice race. I'm glad you enjoyed it. As usual, let us know what pool you're in, where you came, and if it was a 10 out of 10 or 1 out of 10 combo. Out of 10 close racing. Yeah, I got nudged off on pool 4 turn 1 and lap 2, fought my way back and then tried the undercut, got held up by traffic, and then Pung and Chris, who are pool 1 visitors mostly, they decided to pull away from me at the end. It was good fun. I enjoyed it. So we've got Lequera with a 207.0, Sam almost 208. We'll go through this once everyone's gone through. It keeps changing. Still trying to catch my breath. Weird glitch there. I don't know if you guys saw that. 9.8. Sounds like you had a good time there. Stings, anyone else? Kaylin, 0 out of 10, that's because you didn't race. So after the first laps, S&P is currently our leader. We saw that a couple of cars coming down the back straight. He's half a second up on his next lap. We're still second, Lequera third, Rusty, Slaggy, I'm going to call him Slaggy, Cav Steve, Rav, Trinity, RBS, OJ, Brenovan, who hasn't set a lap, Jensen, and Richard. Richard's about to set a lap. We'll see where he moves to. That's his out lap. So he's waited for it to dry a bit and gone out on intermediates. We'll have a bit of a heavier fuel load than the guys that have been doing laps. So you can see they've got almost a quarter tank. And that weight does make a bit of a difference. Jensen's also on our out lap, Brenovan on our out lap, OJ on our outlap, Trinelli on our outlap. So only 9 guys have set a time so far. Rav is bunking his commentary duty, goes into the pits. He's going to put inters on, I think. On the drying track, OJ comes through a second quicker, 205.5. He's on softs at the moment, or was on softs I think. It's a pity we can't see. It does look like it's drying quite a bit. Rusty and S&P go through 205.4, 205, 206. These guys are all on softs, intermediates for Slaggy Star. We've got Sam currently in the high 207s. Steve, these guys are all on intermediates with time running out. I think the racing soft guys have pulled a bit of a strategy here on them. Rav's out in the softs, he won't get a lap in, but he's just obviously possibly getting a feel for them. Gianelli's on inters, he hasn't set a time yet and he's got 12 seconds, so I think he's going to run out of time here. Same for Richard. We should be getting underway shortly. So a few guys that you'd expect up front, starting at the back, like Richard. Jensen on pole. S&P second, OJ third, Rusty, Yasteel, RBS, Branavane, Lequera, Slaggy, Richard, Steve, Sam, Rav, and Janadi. This is a crazy part of the race. Look backwards and watch the slipstream train fall wide into turn 1. You can already see a couple cars 3-4 wide at the back. S&P takes the lead briefly. Branavane coming in really hot, takes 2 and then gets past by 1 I think. Okay, now I have seen his name up on the boards, it's good to have him with us. I think he's one of the Sam guys if I'm correct. A nice bit of side by side action with OJ and Branavane. Into the deadly S-bend. Well, we have some cars flying in there. Once this settles down, which takes a few laps, we'll have to go and see who's on what tyres, but as you can see from 6th place, it's just a huge pack, and this unfortunately normally ends in tears. There we have someone, Richard was the one who ended up spinning. Drops down to 13th, 14th, and the worst part is when that happens, you're 4 seconds off the pack. You'll have advantage of the drying track, but it does give you quite a bit of a disadvantage with no slipstream. I was going down the straight, catching guys, making 8-9 tenths on the lap, and then losing 6 tenths on the straight because they were slipstreaming and I didn't have it. S&P takes lead, Jensen second, Rusty third. They've got a bit of a gap on Branavane, Slaggister, Gianelli, Sam. Yasteel's got a penalty for possibly hitting the wall, 1.5 seconds. It's going to put him at the back of the train. Even Richard, who's only 1.2 behind RBS. We have Branavane going into the pits on his intermediates to fit softs already. He comes out. Track does look pretty dry already. I'm a little bit confused because I thought the settings were wet, but possibly with the qualifying they've already passed some of the wet. It's all falling into a bit of a train at the moment. We've got some passing down the back here. RBS and Steve. You can see Richard was 14 seconds off the leaders, 12.6 at the moment. It's just a drying track ahead of you. It's definitely dry enough now to use slicks, but I don't know if there's more rain coming. You wouldn't want to get rid of the inters. Maybe Brunavane knows something the rest of us don't. The S&P's on inters. I'll just go through. I think most of the field, Lequera is on wets. I tried the wets. I didn't feel comfortable on it. Other than the heavy rain, they felt about 2 seconds a lap slower. So he's doing a great job with them. Sam's on inters. Raventy's on racing softs. That was a good call by him. RBS is on softs. We saw he pitted. OJ on softs. Steve on inters. Richard on inters. Sorry, yeah, Seal on softs. Brunavane on soft. The weather's supposed to be 6, 6, 2, 8 rain, and then 2 lots of clouds, and the last 2 question marks. So I'm not sure. Quick look here. Yeah, they've got the settings right. It's just strange that we're not having rain at the moment. Time 6 should be quite heavy. Maybe they didn't reset the lobby properly. Besides boxing their own combo. The whole point is to learn on as you go though, so here we have Slag Easter is with Rusty now. Still battle for 3rd place. Jensen right up with S&P. The wind's not much as stings. Especially on level 6, it normally is a constant rain. It's just not that hard. Pumpkin, were you the host that made the issue? Saying pool 2 has a host issue. We're 6 minutes in. The heavy rain, that's times 7, 8 normally comes in at about 10 minutes, so we should see S&P managing to open a small gap again. Battle for 3rd still going on. We're just going to go further back. See a nice battle. Raventy and Sam into pace warfare. Just a shout out while we're watching our sponsors: Rhino Utilities, Trackart, TGN Racing, Mayfair Gearbox, and Right Recruitment shot for the sponsorship this season. If you guys do want to get something, hopefully I'll have it finalized, but the last chance qualifier next week, the guys that finished 7th, 6th to 12th, they'll be fighting for a place in the final the week after, and next week and the week after we'll be having a nice little lucky draw prize. But you have to be in the stream to qualify or to hear the answer. So if you got nothing to do next Thursday and the Thursday after, you won't be racing, but we'll need you all watching to support the guys and to get yourselves in with the chance of winning those prizes. Brought to you by our sponsors. In the meantime, top positions haven't changed. Gaps just under second, first, second. Same 3rd, 4th gap. These guys are also on the inters doing 206s, 205.9 for S&P. Just want to see Raventy's on the softs. He did a 204.5 last time around, and he's catching the guys ahead quite quickly now. Sam is on intermediates. He's in 6th place. Waits for Lequera down to 7th. Still hanging in there though. He's on to 206.8 last time around. He's hanging on to Sam on the inters, so he's not losing too much there. Gianelli inters, softs for OJ, he's in 3rd. Richard inters 10th. Steele softs 12th for RBS, he's on softs. These are the guys that are all pitted, I think, at the back, and then Steve's on inters. He must have had a bit of an incident last time around. He did 2:11, 2:09 the previous lap. So he's going to be battling for that slipstream. Ravanti, I think, was the only one that started on softs, most likely. He's done a great job. He's already passed Rusty now. He's up to 4th. He's going to have a huge grip advantage. 2:04.0. The leaders in 2:05 for S&P, but 2:06.5s for the other two ahead. So don't be surprised to see Ravanti in 4th place at the end of this lap. He does have Rusty slipstreaming in there, but he defends the outside line. Rav goes up into 3rd place. Let's see what happens next with the weather. Can he make hay while the track's dry? Jensen 4.5 seconds up the road. Rusty gets through and take 4th back. These two side by side. One hit the wall. That's brought Sam into play. We just get back to TV view. Sam moves up past Rusty. Rusty's looking for his way through though, back again, and now we've got a 4-car battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. And just behind there's also quite a train, Yaneli, Steele, OJ and RBS. And if you're Steve at the back of that train, he's 4 seconds off. You're just hoping they start fighting so you can catch up. Richard's pitted for softs. It's the only thing you really could do at that point. There's a yellow flag. Steele's had an accident. Got a 4.5 second penalty for his trouble on his racing softs. So it's going to drop him to the back. We don't have heavy damage today, or shouldn't. It's light damage, but wall penalties instead. At least the wall penalty means you don't have to make a pit stop to get rid of it. Bit of a spread on the field up until 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, quite close together. Rusty MSR team livery looking good there. He's got Sam just ahead. Yes, Rav's opened up 4 seconds to the 4th place car already, and he's got the gap to the second down to 3 seconds. S&P's opened up 2.5 in the lead. He did a 2:05.2 last time around on the wearing inters. Rav unfortunately has nudged a wall somewhere and got a 1.5 second penalty. It's quite easy at turn 1 and 2. If you just touch the wet edge of the track, it pulls you straight into it. I do see raindrops, so the guys ahead are going to need to pit soon for better inters, but I think Rav's going to need touch to hit the wall again. You can see the track starting to get a bit wetter. Spray's coming off the cars ahead again. So this is the downside of Rav's slip plan. It's coming back to bite him. He's lost 3 seconds to the guys ahead and got a 3 second penalty. Come on, Rav, you can do it, fellow co-commentator. There's a big pack from Rusty down as someone into the wall there, I think. Big rain's coming. You can see Leclerc's got weights, but his tyres are almost finished, so I don't know how good they'll feel. There's Rav's going to serve his penalty. He's already lost 3rd place. He's edging around there on the slicks. He's just going to want to get that car to the pits. Maybe pop on some weights. They seem to hang on. Hey, Mr. Pang, good drive there. Pull 4 with us. It was very enjoyable. I don't know who bumped me on the second lap, but I had fun hunting you guys down, and then my undercut didn't work. Rav into the pits, down to 8th now. that lap definitely didn't go the way he wanted it to. Even when he was going in, the gap was 18 seconds from about 4 at the start of the lap. We can see now the guys ahead all changing up. Rusty's back to 4th, Lequero 5th on the wet, Sam 6th. Lequero definitely coming back into this. The guys on the inters and wets that have looked after him. Rusty's tyres still looking very good. It's quite interesting, Pung, with you joining us at round now this lap 5, 6, 7 after when I was trying to catch up with the heavy rain on the intermediates. That was when I was making big gaps on the guys and closing down on you guys in front, but then your pace on the slicks at the end was crazy. I'd cooked mine by then, but yeah, I think you're 2 seconds quicker than me on the last 5 laps, each lap. Yeah, Punkin, he bullied me a bit. I chased him down, and then when I caught him, he hit the wall and brake tested me, so I went in the wet and then I lost all my focus. That's my excuse. No, yeah, good pace. I think he must have been a contender. I think 201.5 on the slicks. So if he was in pool 1 where he belongs, I think he would have been fighting these guys. So I was more than happy with 3rd. Chris as well. Great race by him in pool 4. No need to apologise. I'm pulling your leg. It's the thing with this track, if you go through those S's and tight corners, if a guy touches the wall, you have nowhere to go. S&P opens the gap up to 3 seconds. Jensen now 9 seconds ahead of 3rd. Sam 4th. He's got Lequero quite close behind him. Rusty, Gianelli, then a 10-second back to Steve. Brunnevan, Raventy's fitted wet. OJ in 11th, RBS 12th, Richard 13th, Yastil 14th. All these guys. Richard's pitted. Has he pitted again? I think to put on inters. He just fitted the softs and now he's had to go back to inters. So not working for Richard today. I think our nation's points leader. This will probably be his throwaway. Yastil also having a few hiccups, but he's coming back. 14th place. He's on softs at the moment. So looks like the rain level's coming down again. So maybe Rav should have. I know, just quite wet around the outside of some of the turns. So I think now all 3 tires probably work. Rav can floor it in the corners with lots of grip. The guys on slicks have to be gentle, but if they can stay on line, they're still going to be closing down. We're only on lap 8. Can you believe it? Still 13 to go. Oh, am I out of breath already? Far less exciting listening to me though than our guy in 10th place, Raventy. Brunnevan and Steve having a nice little battle here, 9th and 8th. They've had some adventures. Brunnevan's best lap was best lap of the race, 203.1. He's on the softs at the moment. His last lap was 205. I think he had a 216 on the heavy rain lap, but tyres are coming back to him now. Aquero 209, 210 for Rusty, 208 for Gianelli, 208 Sam, 208 Slaggy, 205 last time for Jensen, 206 for S&P. You can see our Inter guys are doing great time so far. They still got almost half a tank of fuel, so don't expect to see them too soon. I'll just wait for the track to dry a bit more, I think, and then pit for slicks. If you're at the back, I think I just saw Steve or someone. Yastil's got a penalty. Saw someone just popped in for some slick tyres. Brunnevan's in now. Raventy's on his weight stall. Gran was with Steve, 32 seconds behind. He's now 48, so he's lost 16 seconds by pitting. But how much quick, if he goes 4 or 5 seconds a lap quicker, it's only going to take him 3 laps to make that up. And the other guys still have to pit anyway. But now I see raindrops on track. So anyone who just pitted for softs is going to be kicking themselves a little bit. Definitely heavy Suzzbox combo vibes on this lobby. Mr. Pung, Levi's did the manufacturers only. So I think he would have qualified direct for the finals, so we won't see him next week, but he should be there the week after. Yeah, brandy and water doesn't mix, it's supposed to be brandy and coke, I know. Brenovan put on intermediates, so he didn't go for softs like I thought he was going to. Or if he had, I think he might have put them on in let's just get a refresh. S&P still holding the lead. He's 3.4 ahead. Looks like he's in the pit lane. No, he's just sitting to the left there. He's 3.4 seconds ahead of Jensen. Jensen on the podium, pool 1. Welcome to GTSA. He's been here for a while, but Slaggy 13 seconds, 2 seconds to Sam, 1 second to Junelli, 2.6 to Rusty. Lequera on his weights, he is boxing for fresh tires, I think, and fuel. Is he back on weights? Yeah, he's still on weights. Steve's gone past him. Steve's on intermediate still. Raventy was doing so well earlier. He's still on his weights. Down in 9th place at the moment. He should be able to get to the end on his fuel. He doesn't have to pit again, but he's lost a lot of time. That 2-minute 32 lap, 20 seconds extra, and the pit stop didn't do him any favours. Brunavane now in 10th, OBS 11th, OJ 12th, Richard 13th, and Yasteel 14th. Yasteel also not mixing with the water tonight. I'll just ride on board with S&P for a little while. I see Levi in the chat asking what happened to Richard. He didn't have you to compete with, so he just kind of was moseying along tonight, saving his energy for the finals. Welcome, Levi. I'm pulling your leg. S&P opening a nice gap now, 4.6. Nice consistent pace on his inters, still lots of fuel. Jensen still on his original tyres, original fuel, hasn't stopped yet. Same with Sluggy, Sam, Junelli and Rusty. I think your top 6 all haven't stopped. They've just been going on the original inters, drying track, wet, very wet track and damp track. Steve here has pitted. He was on inters and he was on softs, I think. Looking at the times, I don't think maybe he hasn't. At least he put it on lap 1. Got Lequera on his weights still. He's in P8. He's pitted once for second set of weights. Raventy P9. He went from softs to weights. Branovan 10th, OBS, OJ, Richard and Yasteel. I'm just quickly looking for a bit of a battle while everything's spread out at the moment. last lap round. S&P's lost about a second. I don't know if he made a small mistake somewhere. You can see Jensen within 3.5 seconds now. No one should be using TC, it's supposed to be off. Yeah, Steele's been asking me to do it for a while, so I did it here, but these cars you don't really need it. Even I could get around without TC in the wet, which is unusual. Definitely looking like a 2-horse race at the moment, first and second. Big gap. I thought Levi might just rock up and jump in pool 6 when he saw what cars they were. Levi, didn't you say these were one of your favourite? Well, Red Bull Junior. Sam currently holding 4th. He's stabilised the gap to Gianelli. Rusty 6. Lots of 1.5, 2 seconds gaps, and then a few big gaps, 15, 20 seconds. Bias and shout, come on Rav, catch back up. Down in 9th place. I was enjoying his early charge through the field. Rav pitting again on the wets, as we say that. It feels very long, Caitlin. It's only 24 minutes so far. I think race distance is normal, but it definitely felt longer. Felt like an hour and a half enduro, especially when the conditions were dodgy. So Rav loses 1 place, but now he's gone back onto his preferred softs. Costs him 13 odd seconds, 14 seconds. We'll see if he can start putting a charge back through. Leaders are doing 208s. I think their tyres are looking quite well worn. S&P drops another half a second to Jensen. Yeah, if you stay on the line, it's definitely dry enough again to use soft. So if you're one of these two, you wouldn't want to get undercut. There's only 9 laps to go. I'd hopefully get in, put on some softs and not get undercut, but we'll see what happens. Also question mark with the 2 question mark weather blocks at the end. Could be a level 5 hurricane, probably just be dry, but we'll have to wait and see, because the rain blocks are definitely past now. So it's from about, well, Jensen's going to have to come in the next lap because his fuel light's on. S&P's got a little bit more fuel still. Sam coming in for his first and only pit stop possibly. Was P4, he's dropping down the order. Yeah, Gianelli goes through, Rusty goes through. Not sure if Steve will catch up. Sam onto the softs. Steve and Lequera coming in with the wets. You can see on board with Sam. Steve should get past. 2 seconds back, might just hang on. Just had enough of a gap to slot in there ahead of Steve. So Sam dropped down to 6. Steve in 7th. On the inters, also going to need to stop soon. Lequera stopped for a second time, fitted softs. He's ahead of RBS in 9th, who's on softs. Raventy side by side with him, trying to get his 9th place back. He's looking on the outside of RBS. Does he make it through? He gets shepherded a little bit onto the damp patch, and that's going to let Brandeveen sneak through. Not what Raventy wanted. Brandeveen also on softs, so these 3 of them in a tight battle. We saw Raventy had great pace earlier. Brandeveen set the fastest lap of the race on lap 4, and he's currently 3/10 up, so proof again that Brandeveen doesn't mix with water, but not too bad with dry track. That's unfortunate. Exactly what we were talking about with Pung earlier. Brandeveen hits the wall, Raventy, to avoid him, hits it harder and gets a 3-second penalty. And we have the leaders in now. S&P and Jensen, very similar fuel, 7 and 3%. I'm sure they'll both be fitting softs. Third and fourth place are in, so Rusty's in fifth, so Sam should be the next one coming through. Steve also boxing for softs. Sam's in fifth, but will he get Slaggy? Not. It's going to be right behind him though. And Gianelli up to third. So it's that soft undercut there. Slaggy went from third with a gap to now fourth place, possibly defending for fifth. As we see it come through, Sam slipstreaming past. And he's going to have some work to do. Nice battle for third place on the podium developing. Sam nudges the outside wall. That's going to let Gianelli get a little bit of a gap. Gianelli 23 seconds off the lead, but he's come through nicely. Jensen's had he's caught up a little bit more. It's 2.3 seconds, so he's pushing hard on the first outlap on those softs. Levi, you don't even have to go into the wall. It's this last hip, and if you tiny bit outbreak yourself, which S&P's done, and nudge the wall there, which is going to give Jensen the lead, but you'll probably pass him before he even gets to the corner. This hairpin here, if you put a couple wheels onto the wet and run deep, costs you 3-4 seconds. So Jensen into the lead. He's going to get quite a nice gap here. S&P's going to lose the slipstream with that penalty. It'll cost him about 3.5 seconds. So he's going to have his work cut out on the last 7 laps here. And Jensen's been waiting for that. S&P's still in quite a comfortable second, 20 seconds ahead of Sam. It's 4 seconds behind Jensen, losing a few tenths. So it'll probably be closer to 5 by the time they get to the first turn. I'm sure S&P's regretting that little wall touch. Instead of being 2 seconds ahead, he's now 5 behind. Serious Sam, looking very serious on his helmet there. So now there's a nice thing with these open wheelers, you can see guys' helmets designed. Gianelli bump drafting Sam. Three-way fight into turn 1. Rusty's only 4.5 seconds behind. He's come back into this battle as well. If these guys fight, he could get right up at the podium. Gap at the front there is 5 seconds now. Jensen putting the hammer down. So if you're watching, tell us. Still haven't heard from everyone. How did your races go? Punkin, where did you end up in pool 2? Other guys, did you enjoy the combo? Wish these guys would run with their weather maps on so we could see it instead of the radar. Rusty's gone and got himself a 1.5 second penalty and dropped behind Lequera now, freeing him up. He's going to drop behind the RBS, 5 seconds back to Brunnevan. Steve in 10th, OJ, Raventy all the way down in 13th. I wonder what happened to him. He's lap 13, he lost about 11-12 seconds. So he's behind Richard, then you're still 19 seconds further back. Gianelli's lost it at the hairpin. Drops from 4th down to 5th currently. But he's going to be under pressure now from Lequera and RBS, possibly even Rusty. It's got a little bit of front damage, but we're running low damage tonight, so 3 abreast over the line. Not quite. RBS slipstreams with a double slipstream past Gianelli, and he's ahead of Lequera now. showing some good pace. 202.8 last time around. RBS with the fastest lap, 201.9. So 4/10 slower than Pang was in pool 2, just saying. Pool 4, sorry, not pool 2. Aquera looking to go back, but Kalen asking what made you choose this as a special. I wanted a high downforce car, and I couldn't use the MP44 or the full Red Bull because they cost multiple millions and guys would complain. I know most guys have this car and it's also only $350 I think to buy, 350,000 credits. And then this track, it needed to be a track that could have weather, so there's a few options, but we've done quite a few of them, so this was one that we hadn't yet. And it's always good fun racing this layout, so that was why the combo. Plus I have to hold a little bit back because we're doing multiple races next week and the week after. Yeah, that the AMG Black's also a good car, the road car. I don't know if you saw the last manufacturer's race. We used the Porsche, the 992 RSR. Whoops. Just watching this battle here. We've got quite a train now, from RBS all the way down to Gran, so 4th to 9th are all in the same shot on the straight. Gran goes and runs a bit deep as I say that. Rusty's caught up with Trinelli after his little incident. 1.5 to Slaggy, 6/10 to Aquera, 1.4 to RBS. He's only 3.4 behind Sam. Then it's 20 seconds to S&P, and that 5-second gap at the front stayed the same. So literally the race I think was decided by, we didn't see it, but whatever RBS did to get the 1.5 second penalty, he lost 2 seconds coming down into the hairpin. Penalty cost him another 5, and that was the race. On lap, what is it? Lap 13. No, that was Sam, sorry, lap 14. This last race of the league season will be Jensen's first GTSA win, I think. Definitely pool 1. Any of the Sam guys watching, shout out to your teammate. You see RBS has got a 1.5 second penalty, so that drops him now behind Aquera. Gianelli's going to come through. Rusty's also got a penalty. So at the point of the race where everyone's pushing hard, trying to make up gaps, and you make a little mistake, RBS is in for more tyres. It's quite a little bit low on fuel, possibly shortfalled on the range settings instead of adding a bit extra for driving. I put an extra lap in and I was still almost ran out. So RBS down to 8th, Steve 9th, OJ 10th, Ravanti making his way back up, currently 11th. Set the fastest lap of the race 2 laps ago, 2:01.7. Slay down to 12th place now. OJ not getting the message. OJ Ravanti is faster than you, so no pulling over and no team orders. It was just over 2 seconds slower last time around. I don't know if they've got enough time to catch Steve, maybe, if Ravanti can keep that pace. won't be going too much further forward. RBS now 6.7 behind Rusty thanks to his 1.5 second penalty. Rusty has his own 1.5 second penalty. Branovan in 6th place. He's got a bit of a gap in front, a bit of a gap behind. Kaelin's saying OJ needs the points, so maybe it's a bit of some pace strategy there. Gianelli 5th place. Someone else got it's still Rusty about to serve his penalty, so we'll see. He's 2 seconds behind Branovan as he comes up to the line. Let's see what 1.5 costs you. 2.5, 3 seconds. It was painful going down the straight, and the car's pulling away. It's cost him 4 seconds almost. Yeah, it looks like that 1.5 second penalties cost him just over 4 seconds down the straight. He's got RBS who lost time now right behind him again, almost into slipstream range. We'll go back to the front. S&P's made a mistake somewhere. Did a 206 last time around, lost 4.5 seconds to Jensen. That gap's must have made another mistake on this lap because that gap's now 13 seconds. So probably lost 4 seconds twice, maybe getting a 1.5 second penalty again. So no pressure on Jensen for the last 2 laps. Listen for this car's blown diffuser into the last hairpin. Going to coast off throttle. Sam catching up with S&P's issues, but he's still 10 seconds behind with only 2 laps to go, so podium should be set at the moment. Everyone now thinks on the racing soft. Lequera hitting the wall, 1.5 second penalty. That's going to put him right back with Gianelli. Gianelli's going to come out the corner here and see a nice Christmas present. Was 6 seconds ahead. He's going to see this car appearing to get very close very quickly. You can see in the distance Lequera gap from 6 to 3. We'll probably end up being about a second and a half behind. Gianelli sets his fastest lap of the race, 203.4. Branovan's best 202.0, 202.2 for Rusty. He's getting passed by RBS, whose best lap was a 2 minutes, 0.9 last time around. I think he did have a bit of a slipstream help on that lap, but still brilliant time. 203's 201.4 by OJ, Rav 201.7. He's looking all over the back of OJ still. If there are team orders, it doesn't look like he's looking for it now. He's using the slipstream down the straight there, taking 10th place. Slaggy was in 3rd place for so long. His lap 17 lost 30 seconds basically, and now he's 12th. And lucky for him, Richard 13th, Yasil 14th. S&P's had another problem and another penalty, so Sam's going to take 2nd place here. Oh, and Sam, commentator's curse, Sam decided to do a donut. Is he going to lose 3rd place to Lequera here? S&P goes to serve his penalty, but and Sam's now just got himself a 1/2 second penalty, and he's still stuck. That little incident there has just blown Sam's race. What should have been going up to 2nd, he saw S&P having a problem and did a sympathy spin, so instead of being 2nd, he's now 6th with a penalty and an extra 20 seconds behind. So S&P had a terrible last 2 laps, 2:08 and 2:13. So Jensen now 30 seconds ahead. Lequera third. He's got Gianelli right behind him. Can Gianelli get back on the podium? Last lap. Brenovan now up to 5th. Sam 6th. Shame. I've got a feel for Sam there. Such a good ride. Him and Slaggy. Slag Easter. I don't know which. Maybe it's Afrikaans. Interesting choice of PSN, but Sam's going to possibly, with the drag to the line being shorter, might just hang on ahead of RBS, who's 4 seconds behind. There's not much point in Sam trying to pass Brenovan other than bragging rights before the penalty line. Nice little RBS and OJ still close together, going through the pack. So Jensen exits the chicane, no late spins, running very low on fuel, but that doesn't matter because he can run out in free wheel from here. 32 second lead, 2 minutes, 0.7, his best lap of the race last time around. RBS, like I said, with that big slipstream down the straight, he's done a 2 minute, 0.085. Jensen takes a checkered flag, first place, pool 1, congratulations. S&P after all his dramas at the end, 31 seconds behind, but he looks like he's going to end up hanging on to second. Threw away about 30 seconds, 25 seconds in the last 3 laps, but manages to hang on. Long time leader in second. Lequera just hangs on, gets third. He's very happy about that, as you can see. Hopefully doesn't spin before the line. Gianelli takes 4th. Brenovan 5th. Good comeback by Brenovan, who was really struggling in the wet. At one stage, RBS 6th. Sam, unfortunately, in 7th. Rusty's going to come home just ahead of Steve for 8th and 9th. Does Steve go for it? He misses out by 0.064. Ravanti takes 10th, OJ 11th, 12th for Slaggy, and 13th for Richard. We are still lost 14th place. So shout out to everyone. I'm going to have to give driver of the day to the winner. I know it's not very normally done on Formula 1. They always pick some random dude instead of the guy that won by a mile, but great performance there by Jensen. Thank you everyone for watching. We have now completed the regular season. We were going to be having the last chance qualifier next week. Be multiple races. We'll probably start around 8 and finish 9:30ish. And then we're going to have the final showdown the week after. So for everyone who's in the top 5, you can have next week off. Anyone who doesn't make the top showdown or the last chance, we need to see you on the stream. Bring all your pool mates. We'll have the combo, so if you guys want to race the day after on the Friday or the weekend or something, just to try them. But next Thursday is only for qualified people, and the week after is the grand final. We'll see you then. Thanks to everyone who watched, and that's it.